Scanning for audio.
Welcome once again to another Tin Dog podcast, talking this time about one of the more recent releases, Helter Skelter, which I must admit I did need to have a chat about because I am trying to play catch-up. Yes, I was distracted by trying to finish and get Villain in Venice out so that you could all buy it and please attend and go to, Amazon and it's a bargain and blah, 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 blah. No, you're here to talk about Doctor Who, aren't you? You are. I know you are, so let's do that. The Fifth Doctor Adventures? Yes, the Adventures of the Fifth Doctor. Helter Skelter. This title was released in April 2026 and will be available to buy generally on the 31st of May 2026. Scrolling down, strictly note that this is limited to 1,500 copies and there will not be a reprint. Okay, so that means it's still in stock. Okay, what we've got is a 3-story box set. Fifth Doctor, Tegan and Turlough. One of my favourite setups, one of my favourite arrangements of companions. And to be fair, it's been a bit of a Turlough-tastic time. Is that a phrase I can use? Turlough-tastic? I think it is. Anyway, Turlough-tastic because we've also had Turlough appearing with the Sixth Doctor, but this is the Fifth Doctor. The Doctor, Tegan and Turlough arrive in a quaint village of Heatherington in 1951, but something strange is happening in England of post-war austerity. Heatherington is thriving. The shops are full of produce and everyone seems to have everything they've ever wanted. Even if that they've wanted is the dead to return to them. The Doctor and his friends must stop the creeping invasion of the Asteri, wish-granting crystalline organisms of awesome destructive power before they extract a terrible price from the villagers. Okay, so you've got a story that does feel a little bit like, that other Fifth Doctor story set in a village, in the sense that it's a village. Yeah, that's about it. But let's face it, you've got a nice base under siege type thing going on, and we can all live with that. Because that's what Doctor Who does best. Small group of people, and there's something awful going on. And then you've got the Vicar. Now, I did think that the Vicar was being played by a completely different actor. But let's not go down that road right now. Because I sat there going, oh, is that? And then it wasn't. So, let me see. And of course, this one's by Mooney and Stewart Pringle. Now, anybody who's been listening to my reviews of Torchwood knows fine well that that particular arrangement of writers is one of my favourite and has produced some of the single strongest and scariest and most disturbing of all of the Torchwood range. And I know it finishes soon, and I'll be discussing Curtain probably next time because that's number 99, and I think this week, as I record this, the last ever release, number 100, can we have number 50 please, comes out. Yeah, I'd really, really like that. But here's the thing. We're not getting any more Torchwood from them, so they've moved over to the Doctor Who, what would be now, well, I'm guessing the main range. And I am pleased because obviously if you can write a decent and scary Torchwood, you can really write a decent and scary Doctor Who. You just have to not cross over the same lines or boundaries, but it's a whole new setup and a whole new set of games. Obviously your problem is always the same problem. The central characters cannot, will not, shall not die because you know that, narratively speaking, they go on to adventures on TV that were recorded in 1982 after this. I absolutely adore Janet Fielding's Tegan. Janet Fielding's brilliant. I love Turlough. Mark Strickson's great. The Fifth Doctor's great. This is an absolute corker of a team. And they work so well together because the Doctor's relationship with Tegan has mellowed, has become incredibly, I don't even want to use the visceral, that's wrong, but it's real. It's a genuine, real relationship between these characters, and you know them, and you know when they're speaking out of character, even slightly, and it's just brilliant. This is a cracking box set. Story 2 is very Tegan-centric, and we'll be coming up with that, but let's deal with that one in a minute. I absolutely love this box set and would recommend it to anyone who's ever gone a bit, I really like it. The idea of a jumping on point now is pointless. Nearly every release is a jumping on point. Now things need to be flagged up if they're not ideal jumping on points. If you've considered the Fifth Doctor's time and you like this team, get this one. It's 3 great stories. The whole 1950s feel, the characterization, the characters who may or may not make it out alive are all brilliant. And the scene in the field with the scarecrow, yeah, that's classic Mooney and Pringle. I don't want to give spoilers, so let's move on to Helter Skelter, a completely different story, not connected at all with the first one. Let's do the synopsis. When a bioengineered planet and amusement park undergoes a critical malfunction, the entire planet tears itself apart. The Doctor, Tegan and Turlough are thrown back to their arrival point, trapped in a repeating time loop. But for some reason, only Tegan can see the loop, not the Doctor. It has been hidden from him somehow. So why can Tegan see it, and how is she going to fix it? So what you've got is a bit of a Groundhog Day thing going on. But Tegan, the person who is obstreperous, let's go with that, who is bloody minded, who can argue for England or Australia, is just great in this. It's an absolute... you know what? We've not used the word tour de force for ages. Everyone used to use the words tour de force all the time. And it was what we always do. It was written on the backs of books. Tour de force. It was always there. Yet another book with tour de force written on it. It was a 90s thing. Anyway, what I'm saying is that repeated narrative, that storyline with Tegan in it, just goes on and on and on, and it builds, and you learn more about the world, you learn more about it, and every time they try something different and something new and something ongoing to try and fix the narrative, it just is brilliant. If ever you wanted to say that, stories that have got time in them, well, they're rubbish. But you can absolutely picture there's something like this happening on a sort of galactic version of, say, Disney World or even Universal, something like that, because the staff are great. Everybody in it's got a very strong thing going on. And the idea of this whole world being a universal park is just great. I don't want to spoil it at all, but you are trapped with the characters and you are going through it, and it is just cracking. And then you've got Story 3. Land of Fools, again, Lauren Moody and Stewart Pringle. The TARDIS arrives in London in 1980, but something has gone wrong with the timeline. The city is a quasi-police state overseen by a mysterious new company, Liquos, which promises miraculous gifts to its followers. As Tegan takes off to reconnect with an old friend, the Doctor teams up with the young activist Zan. Turlough is being pulled at the heart by Liquos by the shadowy M. I know, it's a Fifth Doctor story with a shadowy figure called M. You've probably jumped to a similar conclusion that I jumped to, where they discover an old enemy at work beneath the city. Okay. All 3 of these are superb. It's a genuinely very strong box set. And you know what? I loved the Hooklight storyline, the massive, monumental Lord of the Rings thing. But this is a lot more Doctor Who, and it's a lot more science fiction, and it's a lot more straightforward. So if I was you, I'd just get this. Here's the trailer. Decide for yourself as always. But I just adored this, and it kept me going for a massive drive back up to Newcastle and a massive drive back again. Here you go. The trailer, as promised. Until next time, be seeing you.
They called it the Land of Fools, and the people who lived there had so much of everything they could ever have wanted. But they wanted more. And so the people of that land made a wish.
From Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, The Fifth Doctor Adventures, Helter Skelter.
Turlough! Get away from there!
Who is that?
No, Tegan, you don't understand.
Turlough!
Caesar!
Those creatures! There's so many of them!
Just keep away. They're only half grown still. They're slow. There we are. Exactly when and where I was aiming for. The planet Helios Solis. 3 adults, please. Wait, I think I've got a senior discount card here somewhere.
I've never seen anything like it, but the Doctor knows more than he's letting on.
As usual.
The planet's tearing itself apart. It's going to explode.
Luckily, the time loop will still reset itself anyway.
Time loop? What time loop? If there was a time loop, I'd know about it.
Oh, I wish you did.
There's a creature down there, under our feet, that's not of this world.
I set it free, found it, a throne worthy of its brilliance, and now it has raised me up, raised us all up, and it will raise up this entire city.
No one else dies today.
Big Finish, for the love of stories.
That was the Tin Dog Podcast. All topics discussed are the intellectual property of the copyright owners. No infringement is intended. Why not follow the show on Blue Sky at tindogpodcast.bsky.social. If you've enjoyed this podcast on YouTube, please click like and subscribe. To contact the show, email tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.